Okay, I am making this video. I don't ever post videos. I just do it in my stories. But I am just kind of joining a couple of other teachers that have also just kind of shared their reflections. Um, my content was muted, my feed was muted for the last week to amplify amazing Black educators and voices, not just teachers, but with my teacher account, that's usually who I had been following. And Jessica Wilson, as well as Black and Embodied, had posted this challenge kind of to just, instead of I'm just muted, but I'm living my life, what are you doing to learn, and some questions to just kind of reflect on. And I've been posting things in stories, and I didn't just want to be muted and then move on, because that's not what this is about. So feel free to watch, feel free to move along if you're not interested. I'm really kind of just doing this honestly for myself, as I learn and grow, because I am clearly in no way, shape, or form I'm expert isn't even in my vocabulary right now. I'm a novice. I am learning, but I did want to reflect on some of the things that I learned. So I have my notes right in front of me. Um, I'm making this video in my unmade bedroom because I have one child sleeping and another one that's getting his video time right now. So I just wanted to reflect in this way. So one of the first question that was asked is, what is it like to not see yourself in your feed? It was nice to not see myself in my feed. It was nice to even just not be posting anything and to be listening to other people and reading what other people are sharing. And like I said, I was following mainly Black teachers because this is my teacher account. So it was nice to not see that. It was nice to take the time to be learning from other people. So really I know it's odd to say. It was nice to not see myself. The second question says, how does the body liberation narrative sit differently when it comes from lived experiences rather than white analysis? I would say for me, it's incredibly eye-opening to hear different experiences from people that have truly lived it instead of just hearing what white people are sharing. I grew up in a very white town. I think there were only in a school of 2,500, there were 2 or 3 Black students, and the rest of us were white. So hearing experiences from Black, Indigenous, people of color is incredibly eye-opening, because there are so many things that I didn't realize 100% took for granted because of my white privilege, and recognizing that I have white privilege and recognizing the things that I can get away with because of the color of my skin. Um, so I think it just sat differently because there were things that I never acknowledged or didn't think about before. Um, the third question says, how has predominantly white analysis impacted your understanding of world events? There is a tweet. I wish I knew who wrote it off the top of my head because I didn't write it down. But it's basically like the history that we learned, right? So, like, there was slavery, it was bad. And then Lincoln freed the slaves. And then we had racism, and that was bad. And Malcolm X was mean, and he shouldn't have been mean. But then we had Martin Luther King, and he helped with racism because of his I Have a Dream speech. And then racism went away. The end. Yep, that's pretty much the education that I got. And I'm saying this as a teacher who is like, I'm back in the district that I grew up in. And it's not okay. It makes me angry knowing that there are a lot of pieces of history that I never knew existed, that I'm learning about today as a teacher myself. And it is my own fault for not doing the work and not educating myself in that way. But it's atrocious that that's the kind of education that is being given, that was given. And so my understanding of world events is 100% skewed. And it just makes me angry. It makes me angry for my own education, and it makes me angry as an educator that it has to I have to be better. Like it's hard to formulate words in that for that category, because as a teacher, it's just like a little bit infuriating. So, that's, yeah, there's oof. This is not a very good video, but that question I think hit really hard because of the education I received and the education that I have been giving and how skewed it all has been, and that I need to be better in first educating myself and learning by reading and listening, and then being able to take that information or take things that other educators have made and created, and then using that to be better for my students in teaching them real, true history and not just whitewashing everything. The next question was, when sharing content of people of color, have you noticed white creators' content still center themselves? Yup. They sure have. And I've unfollowed quite a number of people. And I think it's interesting that there are some that I was following and they were doing their thing and making it about them, or not doing anything and just continuing to post and share and do whatever. And then only because they were asked, like, why aren't you posting anything, or why aren't you talking about this, to get on the defense and then say something. or to just completely ignore altogether. So yeah, there have for sure been other people still doing that, and they are gone from me seeing what they're up to again, because I really couldn't care less. Which kind of brings up the next question. Um, Muted white content creators, or muting them if you've been worried about missing out on something happening to them. No, I'm here. I made this teacher account so I could learn from other teachers, so I could see what other teachers around the country, around the world are doing, so I can become a better teacher. So I don't really miss what's going on in their lives, because I'm more interested in what are you doing as an educator. And if you're not pushing yourself to learn and to grow, then I'm not interested, because that's what I want to do. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to really care, like, about, oh, how many people are going to like my teacher page or my content or the things that I'm sharing, and like I don't care now. Because I don't. I'm here to learn, and I'm here to grow, and I'm here to listen. And follow me, don't follow me, I don't really care. So that's something that I think has also changed for me too. The last question was, how is muting white noise influencing what doing better looks like for you? I think muting white noise has helped me just find new people that I probably wouldn't have found or heard of before. I think that it comes with listening and learning and taking that on for myself. I feel like that's probably been the biggest thing that I have heard from amazing Black, Indigenous people of color say, is like, just listen. Stop talking. Listen. That, and don't go into their DMs. Give no reason to message anyone to say, oh, with white guilt, or with trying to defend, or basically anything. Like, or asking questions. Like, that's what Google is for. As a teacher, if I tell my students, if they don't know the answer, they have to research and they have to find the answer themselves. So I have to do the same thing. So I have to walk the walk. I have to do the work myself, and I can listen to people. I can take what is being shared with me, but that does not give me the right to go in to their DMs and like ask them questions and expect an answer, because I wouldn't do that to my students. I would expect them to do the work. So I have to do that same work. For me, it also looks like doing a lot more reading. So reading and learning myself. My content will look different. I know that just before the protests began and the death of George Floyd, I had been following Too Cool for Middle School, and was trying to begin that work for myself. And so just continuing that, reading, donating. There are a couple of different places that I can donate, none in my county that I've been able to find. but having a monthly donation. So that's something that I have started doing, and will continue doing. And I think just educating myself first and foremost, and not being afraid to be uncomfortable, whether it's being uncomfortable with myself or if it's being uncomfortable with friends and family. And by having those conversations, and by doing that, um, trying to make change with the people that I associate with. And if that change isn't willing to be made, then disassociating myself. Still sharing my platform that I can, because I am a white woman and I have privilege. And so being able to use that privilege, to be anti-racist. So that's what I believe it looks like in doing better. And I'm going to make my content, it will start to look different as well. I'll still be sharing like what I'm up to in the classroom and the things I do with flexible seating, but also understanding that this isn't going away. It shouldn't be going away, and just because the media I'm sure find something new and try to change the narrative that this is not going away for me, and I'm going to do what I can. And I wrote down to be able to internalize the work that I'm doing. I can share things that other amazing Black educators, Black Indigenous people of color that I'm following, what they are doing, but the credit goes to them. And I'm sharing it as, hey, if you're not following these people, you should be following them. But just internalizing the work. I was watching Layla Saad earlier. She did a live today, and I wrote down what she said because I thought that it just stood out. So she said that a lot of times white women need to be seen as one of the good ones. And so to make sure that, you don't center yourself, don't center you, but to center Black Indigenous people of color. And think about releasing the need to be seen. It's not not intention, it's your impact. And I thought that was powerful. Obviously, I wrote it down. And I'm thankful that I happened to have jumped on Instagram and saw that Layla was speaking. And that was like at the tail end of her talk this morning. And she is going to have it saved in her stories, and we'll have it on YouTube as well. So you can, if you wanted to learn and listen from her. But I thought that stood out to me a lot, was just like, I can see that, because you as a white female and a teacher, you do want to be seen as one of the good ones, but that's not what this is about. This is about internalizing the work that I'm doing, and that this is not about me needing to be seen. It's about the impact that I'm going to try and make to be better, to listen and to learn, and to continue that work, because this isn't just like, oh, I spent the summer doing this. It's from now on. So like I said, I just wanted the opportunity to reflect and to share, and this is about me just me wanting to reflect for me. So yeah, and my content is going to look different because it needs to. So having said that, now that I've made a 20-minute video, I hope that whoever is watching this, if you're watching this, that you also have the opportunity to internalize any work that you're doing. And if you're not doing any work, to start being able to find Black, Indigenous people of color that you want to follow and listen to and learn from, and be able to get to work yourself. So I hope that everyone has a nice rest of your Tuesday, and that's all I got.